Overspending is a habit that usually pinpoints an idea of running away from a pain. The point is, with people denying their own freedoms, with people denying their own liberty, their own, let's call it freedom to experience their emotions and to live them freely, hiding behind fear, shame, and guilt. The point about that is when people feel so numb in this life, in this real life, they will seek anything that will keep them distracted from the pains and from what they think they have become. But thinking, well, a thought is just a belief in most cases, and a belief means accepting something without a necessity for proof. If someone says that you're stupid, well, you might just say, okay, tell me something new. But in your mind, ask yourself one question: where is the proof? Overspending, be it in video games or in many other things, is just a way of using a little drug. It's not a biological drug, it's more of a psychological nature. Why? Because it is called overspending. Any action that one does, and well, more than they should, and well, if it actually ends up being called indulging, which means overdoing something, this always means that someone is running from a certain pain. If people cannot experience the freedom and the beauty of this real world, they will seek to experience pleasure in whatever other world. That will most likely include video games or the worlds that, psychological drugs can induce. Because, after all, experiencing any sort of emotions when you feel emotionally numb is like being reborn. So, overdoing things will always be overpowering, because once one gets distracted from the pain, then they will feel free again. But it is a beautiful illusion and a very good way to simply rule people and keep them in the lower nature, that of always wanting and seeking pleasure. Because pleasure is not necessarily sexual. Pleasure is emotional and psychological only, and can also be pleasure of the physical body, but that still falls under emotional and psychological pleasure. Because if someone is, let's say, psychologically numb, the point is you can try to pleasure them as much. You won't trigger anything within them. This is the same thing with people who can never be, uh, well, let's say their expectations can never be met. You can try anything you want with them, but the problem is they will be too numb to simply experience anything. It's the same thing with overspending. People will always want more and more, even if it may cost their life, their wealth, their whatever. People call it, a demon of something. This is usually, a way of further lying yourself, or as I called it in previous videos, just, well, justifying your lies. As I said, your mind is a pantheon. Be careful what deities you create, because when people don't know how to use their mind well, their ideas may well become like gods, because they will believe those ideas so much, those ideas will become greater than creation, greater their own life. That is why we have people who, so-called, will die for their points. But if you are capable of dying for something, you are also capable of killing for something. These are perfect synonyms. So, the moment you become defensive of your ideas, you're too invested in those, and that is still a way of overdoing. Moralists are also overdoing, because what moralists know, they know one or two ideas, and they will simply die for those, because those ideas have become their comfort zone. So as long as one lives and chooses to live in the prison of the comfort zone, they will unfortunately suffer. This is the way of the universe, and as it goes. All this being said, hopefully this video was introspective enough. You are appreciated. Take care of yourselves. Ferenc on board signing out.